Hey everyone, Dr. Mark Superna here with Family Healing Chiropractic. Hope you guys are all having a great and blessed day. This should be a fun one because typically when I start talking about symptoms and how symptoms are not your problem, this is the one that people get fired up on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok is ruthless. But I love it. And so let's jump into it. I love this title. The pain is lying to you. Why chasing symptoms keep people stuck where they're at. And this is I've got a couple great examples here today. It's going to be a very, very quick live stream here today, but I want to get to some important topics and help you guys understand 2 testimonials. And by the end of this, you're going to understand how God designed the body, which is what we always do anyway. So understand first and foremost, it's not about the pain. Your symptoms are trying to tell you something. Pain is what gets your attention. Pain is not the problem. Symptoms are the messages from the body. So here's what happens is your body starts to lose function in some way, shape, or form. You start to have issues. The pain is not the first thing there. It's kind of like the cavity in your tooth. The cavity is not the first thing that the feeling of the pain in the cavity is not when it started. It started days, weeks, months, years, possibly earlier than that. And you have zero clue that this was going on and this was happening. And by the time that the pain gets there, the environment that the teeth have been in that created the cavity has already been there for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden, now you're hyper-focused in on the pain itself. What the medical industrial complex has taught us in this world, especially in this country, because a lot of people are getting super rich off of this model, and you can just see it in all the advertisements that are out there, that the goal is to cover up the pain. Our goal isn't to hide the pain. Our goal is to find out what is at the cause of the problem, not trying to hide the symptoms, not trying to just try to suppress the aches and the pains and the problems. We're trying to get to the core source of what's really happening from the inside. That's the ultimate goal for us, right? So why most people stay stuck? Well, the medical industrial complex, this is what's been going on for over 100 years. You get a pain, you get pain, you get a pill. You get a pain, you get shot. You get pain, you get therapy. Most approaches ask, how do we reduce your symptoms? From a physical therapy standpoint, from a massage standpoint, even from a supplemental or a homeopathic standpoint. These things are still trying to reduce your symptoms, especially the medical industrial complex. Insurance companies, it shouldn't be called health insurance. It should be called sick insurance because it only deals in the sickness. It only works on the sickness aspect of it. It doesn't work on getting you healthier and stronger. When you start to realize that ultimately you're responsible for your own health and your own life, when you realize that and for your family's life, that's when you'll start to dive into the world of like, how do we create health and healing and function inside of our bodies so that we don't end up in that medical model? Does that mean you're never going to end up in the medical model? No. I ruptured my Achilles. I ended up in the medical model, but I got out of there as soon as possible. Okay. So what we're talking about here is how do we get out of that stuckness of whatever it is? I think that's a word. Most approaches, how do we reduce symptoms? We ask the question of why is the body not healing? Why isn't it healing? Something's happening from the inside that's not allowing your body to heal or function. That's what we focus on. I had this patient come in recently. She's a 15-year-old girl, Ashley. We're going to call her Ashley anyway. It was never about her knee. She came with a knee problem. She had multiple doctors over the course of a year, scans, x-rays, testing, physical therapy, medications, all this stuff. It's inflammatory. It's this, it's this. And nothing ever changed. They came to us as a last resort. The knee wasn't the question. I never, when they came to us, I told them that on the phone before they even came here. I'm not focused on getting rid of your daughter's knee problem. I'm focused in on why is her body not healing? Why isn't it doing what it's supposed to do? Because if it were properly functioning, it should be able to heal on its own. So we didn't chase the pain. I checked her spine. I checked the motion of her spine and her pelvis. We checked the nerve function. The problem wasn't just a simple mechanical issue. The body was stuck in this pattern of neurological stress. And so when we start to get the stress off the nerve system by checking her spine and her nerve system, again, remember the brain and spinal cord, you guys have heard me say this a million times. The brain and spinal cord control every single function you have in your body. So for you to hear me, for you to see me, for your heart to beat, for your lungs to breathe, for a cut to heal on your leg, the brain has to send messages through there and communicate and coordinate all the body systems and functions so it can optimize the healing environment that it's in. And so for her, I didn't even put my hands on her knee. I actually looked at mom and dad and I looked at her and I said, Ashley, I go, our job is to find out why that knee is not healing. And so we started adjusting her. And the next thing you know, she's walking better, feeling better, pain's gone. This happened in the process of about 3 visits. Within a week's time, this thing went away that she'd been dealing with for a whole year. We get a lot of patients that come in as a last resort. I'm fine. Call it whatever you want to. I would love people to get here before last resort happens, but it happens. And so now the whole family got checked. Now you're going to ask the question, well, why is the whole family getting checked? Wouldn't it have been better to make sure her body was healing before she ever had a knee problem for the last year? Imagine how much money, how much time, how much energy they spent over the course of this last year because of all the things that she's going through and she went through. Another patient, 76-year-old lady, she thought I was absolutely crazy out of my mind. Same type of issue. She'd been to 4 different podiatrists, tests, x-rays, injections, blood work therapy, medicines, of course, anti-inflammatory, steroids, you name it. She comes in and I look at her and she takes her shoe off and I'm like, put your shoe back on. And she's like, I told you it's my foot. And I'm like, I understand. I love you. I was nicer than this, just so you guys know. I was way nicer than this. I didn't say put your shoe back on meanly. I said, I don't need your shoe off. Please put it back on. But what I said to her is I said, we're looking for why is it not healing? Every doctor you've gone to, podiatrist and medical doctor, they've been looking for how to treat your symptom. I'm not looking to treat your symptom. I want to know, why is your body not healing that foot when the other foot has no problems? And she's like, I never thought about it that way. So she came in and I started looking at her spine. I checked her neck and her spine. And the bigger issue, instead of her pelvis where the nerves go directly down to the leg, down to the foot, I looked at the whole spinal cord, which is at the top of the spine. This is why we really hyper-focusing on the upper cervical spine, because we want to make sure everything's flowing down. And so I adjusted her neck. She wasn't impressed with me. And she goes away. She comes back the next day and she's just like, I don't know what you just did. She goes, but my pain in my foot that's been there for years, I don't know if it was a decade, but it was years. She goes, completely went away after one adjustment. What did you do? And I said, listen, the body heals from above, down, inside out. It comes from above, from your brain. This is where the healing power was put into. The brain controls the body. The nervous system controls the healing. When communication improves, function improves, adaptation improves, healing improves. Not only could her foot start to communicate with a better functioning nervous system, her foot could tell her brain what was going on in her foot. Her brain then said, I know what to do with this, because now the communication pathway was wide open. I didn't heal her. Her body is what healed itself. And so I want to help you guys understand this. This is huge. The greatest doctor in the world is inside of you. I heard this has been said in chiropractic for a lot of years. And I heard one guy say this to a kid one day at a seminar on stage. He said, I said this to all the kids that come into my office. And he looks at these kids, he says, you know, the greatest doctor is in the world. And the kids will sometimes say you. And he's like, nope. The greatest doctor is you. You have the best doctor. It's inside of you. It's the way that God designed you. He designed you to heal. He designed you to adapt. He designed you to have function. And see, the thing is that symptoms do matter, and symptoms point us to a problem, but symptoms are not the problem. The goal is better function, better adaptation, and better healing. And this is where that term comes in chiropractic, where the power that made the body heals the body. Your body was designed to heal itself. If it's not healing itself, there's something that's blocking that. There's something that's blocking that healing from the inside. I don't know how many ways I could say this to you guys, but I hope this lands to some of you guys. Number one, I just ask that you, start to look at what can I do to help my body understand and heal and function. Nerve system is key. Obviously, nutrition, exercise, thoughts is a big part of this as well. And if you're constantly exposing yourself to stress and toxins, that's a problem too. So really need to clear some of those things out so your body can do what it's supposed to do. If you have aches, pains, problems, if you're suffering from something, you need to first look at, how do I support my body in its own healing? Your first thought should not be, how do I go and hide the symptoms? It should be, how do I get my body functioning and adapting and healing on its own from the inside out? The nerve system is the key to this thing. And this is why we've had people that have come through this office. I've been here 22 years. It's empty now because we don't see patients till this afternoon. I'm going actually right now to go to my church and adjust. I've done that for about 17 years. Every Tuesday or Wednesday for the last 17 years, I go over there, volunteer, and I adjust a bunch of people, probably about 40 people today, because I want to make sure that people that are working for God and at my church, I want to make sure their bodies function at the highest level. Some of them might think I adjust them for aches and pains and neck pain and back pain. I don't. I adjust them because I want their bodies to function at the highest level, not just from a level of less aches and pains, less sickness and disease. I want them functioning so they can be used wholly and perfectly the way that God designed them and how it was supposed to be along the way. Shout out to my Puerto Rican friends. Thank you, Aldi and Paulina, for this World Baseball Classic hat a few years ago. It's kind of dirty, so sorry, but you guys get a chance to see me on this today. Love you guys, appreciate you guys. Put comments down below. I know this is TikTok. This is for you TikTok guys. I get random bots on TikTok. It's comical. How many people are going to lose their mind over me talking about how symptoms really are not the issue. Symptoms point us to the problem. People lose their mind because they're so brainwashed in the medical industrial complex. When I say that, I hope you guys understand, the medical system, the insurance system, and the pharmaceutical system is all built around you chasing a symptom and not really getting healthier from the inside. Now, there's time and a place for that, okay? But that should not be healthcare system. That is sick care system. And the real thing is you becoming responsible for you and your family's health. That's the priority right now. Hope you guys understand this. Have a blessed and great day. Love you guys. See you soon.